Hey, welcome to the first Beyond Senpai video interview. And tonight, I'm
Ooh.
JustPanda. We've got Kelly and our very, very special guest, Jenny Hayes, rock idol of the UK.
Yay. Yeah. Woo, woo.
Hi, welcome, ladies. It's like a ladies' night here on
I
the Beyond
know.
Senpai channel. Anyway, welcome, Jenny. So some of you guys may know Jenny from the UK idol scene. She's been around since 2016. Is that right? Around about
Yes.
then.
Yes.
And she's put out some pretty cool music. She attends a lot of the kind of Japanese and anime cons that we have in the UK. She's got some new stuff coming out and she's here to tell Beyond
Yeah.
Senpai all about her new material. Tell us about it, Jenny.
I have a new single coming out, which actually on the day of recording this has actually been announced publicly, and it's a new song called The Prey. It's a heavier rock song compared to my previous stuff, but it's very inspired by a lot of Japanese rock acts that I listen to. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's something that you enjoy. And it's a digital release, so it's going to be available everywhere. So you haven't got any trouble of ordering it from like CD Japan or anything like that. No custom fees, just tied up in a nice little box online.
So that's going to be
We
like
will be
Bandcamp, iTunes, and such like that.
Yeah, yeah.
we'll put all the links for Jenny's stores and all her socials and stuff in the description below.
Yeah, it doesn't
I've
actually
always
come
wanted
out
to do
till the
that.
12th of February,
Yep.
but it is available to like pre-order on Bandcamp and pre-save on Spotify. I'm not sure about other streaming services because I'm not as acquainted with them. So, yeah.
So, like, you've been putting out music independently since 2016.
Yes.
How have you found that as an independent artist in the UK?
At first, when I first started doing it, I mean, the first song that I ever released, I'm still proud of it, but it sounds like you can tell it's an old song compared to what I release now because just as the years have gone on, I keep learning new things. So when I first started my first song, it was originally a university project, like a video project. And so everything was brand new, learning everything when it comes to like songwriting, production, mixing, hiring people as well. It was all completely brand new to me. But then as things have like as the years have gone on, I've managed to learn new skills that I can do myself. So it kind of saves a bit of money, but at the same time, I'm also aware of like new places and avenues that I can go down to ask for help because I can do it all by myself, but the upside of that is that I have like the final say on everything. So I don't have any management or companies or anything saying you can't release this because we don't like it, or you can't release this because you're in this category. So there's a bit more freedom with that, but at the same time, it's difficult. Like a lot of resources I have might not be as many resources as if I was working with an actual company, if that makes sense. So it's trial and error like every time I release something, and I'm always critical when I release something new. I'm like, I always compare it to what I've released previously to think, okay, I know what to do for the next time. And then, it's just playing around all the time. So the song that I've got out coming out now, it might sound not as good as something I might release in 5 years' time. There's like a constant.
It's all about progression, though, isn't it? It's all
Yeah.
about taking it to that next step, making the next one better, learning more, taking tips off of other people, and bringing out the best of what you can do in that time.
Yeah.
No one expects an artist to be putting out fantastic gold record stuff right at the beginning of their careers. There's always trial and error. There's always ways to improve yourself, especially since you do a lot of songwriting, music writing, you do all the composition. So as you, like 2016, that was, oh my goodness, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. 6 years ago? That's a long time ago. You're going to be a different person to what you were 6 years ago. So lots of things have happened, especially over the last 2 years. And the way that you write your songs, the way that you get inspiration for your writing, that's going to have changed, and that's going to impact on what you put out.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, when I first started like my idol stuff, I did more of the traditional idol music. you know, like a lot of generic idol stuff. So when I was writing, I was in that trapped frame of mind where I can't write about that because it's too serious as an idol song. I can't write about that because it's too personal. But like as the years have gone on and has like the idol movement has changed all the time, there's a lot more idol groups that sing about like mental health, for example, as like one subject that would have been taboo a few years ago. And as well, as I said earlier, with me being an independent artist as well, I have the freedom to write what I want. And I've like threw the shackles off of thinking I can't write about this, I can't write about that. And I think it's actually helped me become more passionate as a performer, that I'm singing what I want to sing. I'm writing about things that I want to share with the world. You know, because I like to write songs about personal experiences, but in a way that whoever listens to it can listen to it and have their own interpretation of it and have it as their kind of support when they have like happy days or sad days as well.
In regards to like the idol movement itself within Japan, do you think that actually did change how you wanted to work towards your own music? Do you think that helped you leap towards the person who you are now as a performer?
Yeah, because I mean, I've been an idol fan since God, like 2007 time, where we didn't have as many online resources to discover idol groups like we do now. So yeah, it's what was the, I forgot what was the question again? Sorry.
Like, did the idol movement, like when it was starting to move with like Kayaki Zaka 46 especially, but AKB48 as well, the fact that they had lyrics that were dealing with things like this one, trigger warning, suicide. But obviously Kayaki Zaka 46 were one of the bigger groups to throw in that movement of idols who take a risk and talk about things like being yourself, kind of throwing away the mask, sticking out, even though people want you to kind of blend in. And then also Sashi Hararino, who became very well known for having a scandal, and she gained a lot of popularity off of the back of that herself. She kind of like made it so that she was noticed and that she wasn't being kept quiet. Like things.
Yeah.
Did that help you to figure out that you wanted to also go that way and taking a more serious stance on your lyrics and kind of being more true to yourself? Because whilst those lyrics aren't written by the girls themselves, it's like a loaded gun with their songs sometimes.
Definitely. I mean, as I say, when I first started back in 2016, there was, as you said, there was like little examples of idol groups doing songs that were out of the traditional mold of being an idol, singing about like school bullying, taking off school uniforms, etc. And even though those songs were really, really popular, there was always this conversation of this isn't what we usually expect from an idol group. So there's been that kind of discussion going on for a few years, but I'd say from like 2017 onwards, I think there's just been like slow progression of more idol groups, probably more underground idol groups, indie idol groups compared to mainstream ones that don't really give a crap now about the mold that they have to fit into. There's a lot more groups that perform them kind of songs now, and a lot of them now are like my biggest inspirations of what I do with my music now. So I think if there hadn't been that progression of idols finally singing and writing music, whether it's the managers writing it for them or them writing it themselves, I definitely think it's had a huge influence on my music.
I was going to say, just to follow on from that, do you think that the kind of, like you said, the underground and indie groups, do you think the alternative idol scene has been steadfast in promoting more of the kind of not doing what everybody else wants and trying to be more individualistic compared to maybe more of the kind of poppy J-pop style idol units? Because I don't know a lot about the idol scene as a whole. I'm more kind of into the underground stuff. So because I don't listen to the more kind of classic idol music, like say Kelly would be more influenced by, I don't really have anything to compare with. I mean, I see a lot of the kind of the underground alternative idol acts that are about just now, like Satanic Punish, Manico, even Necroman Idol. They're all kind of units that are going out on their own and kind of doing something a little bit different, a little bit darker. I quite like that. I like seeing these kind of what would be traditional pretty girl groups doing something a little bit darker for a change. And I know it's staged. I know that it's set up that way, but they wouldn't be in these groups if they didn't want to be. So do you think that the popularity of the alternative scene has had a big impact on how the idol world has progressed?
I definitely think so. I mean, if you think about it, these like underground alternative idols, a lot of them are in smaller companies. And because they're small companies, they have less of a risk to take in releasing unconventional songs and shows and that. Whereas a lot of the more generic idol groups, they're under these big, massive management companies. And Japan has this culture of we have to fit in with society standards. So I think that's kind of what leads its way for mainstream idols to be a bit more restricted in what they can do. I mean, as I say, the idol boom, it's massive in Japan. I've never actually been to Japan myself, so I don't know how much of an impact it has, but I definitely think it has some sort of cultural effect in Japan. But as I say, like, because these underground idol groups are in smaller companies, they don't have as much to sacrifice in terms of reputation and things. So when I see groups like Manacle, and other groups performing, there's not as much restriction. Whereas when you see mainstream idols performing, there's a set routine of how they have to perform. We have to do this dance, we have to do this way with this certain segment of the song, we have these rehearsed scripts, etc. But then with indie idol shows, for example, I mean, my latest example was Necronome Idol when they were in the UK. I mean, obviously the dance routines and songs were all rehearsed beforehand, but their genuine reactions and interactions with the crowd were more natural, whereas more mainstream idols, I think they're always a bit hesitant of how they interact with fans in case other fans get jealous or management snipe at them. So, yeah, I definitely agree.
Okay.
In regards to the whole alternative idol, orthodox idol thing, and also how they interact with audiences and everything, I feel like before we had orthodox idols and then we had alternative idols. I think now we've reached this happy medium with the idol boom and how it's gone. Basically, I think now what we have with so many self-produced idol groups coming out, or former idols producing their own groups, or other people creating smaller groups like Fudo with Satanic Punish and then also Dear Devil. I think what we have now got is groups I want to see on a stage, or groups that I want to be in on a stage, in regards to idols who have created a group themselves. Many Para being one of them. Whilst they are fairly orthodox and cutesy and they're pretty and such, the idea for them was that the girl who created them, the young woman who is an idol herself, she herself just wanted to create an idol group that she wanted to see on the stage, where they produced everything themselves, from the set list to the costumes to sorting out the venue for themselves, things like that. And I think that's where we have come now, that there's this nice bridge of just like not just orthodox and alternative, but the idol groups I want to see and the idol group I want to be in, which, with Fudo, Satanic Punish is the idol group he wanted to see on a stage, though they are more of a performance group than anything, because they are insanely talented and they're not as gimmicky as other idol groups.
Yeah, you were like talking about like the whole performance of like the stage performance, not just the music and the songs behind the idol. So you obviously write and produce all your own music and lyrics, Jenny. You also have to then do your stage production as well. You have to do your own choreography. How do you work that out? Do you think of like lyrics first and then with the music, or does a melody come to you first and then you put lyrics around it and then you build your choreography around that? What's the process?
Well, recently the way that I've started doing it is I'd always have like an idea of what I'd want to write about. Like I could sit and be like, I want to sing a song about a heartbreak, for example. Sometimes I'd get like little melodies in my head, and then I'd approach the person who I'm commissioning the music, and usually it could be just like a random chorus that I've just come up with randomly and send it to them, or I've like written lyrics and I'm like, this is what I kind of want to incorporate. And then they'd usually do the music, and then once I hear the music, then I'm like, okay, this is how it's going to sound, because I've wrote lyrics for a song before and then put it to music, and then with the music it sounds completely different to how I started it the first time round. Whereas now I'll partially write the lyrics, have the music together, and then I'm like, okay, this is how it sounds. I know where to keep on going from that, and I can like pick and choose how I want to change the concept of the song. That's how I usually do it. And then obviously it's like recording it and having it out there. And then usually when I finally have like the basic of the song, when I'm then laying down the lyrics and stuff, I mean, in terms of like recording it vocally, I can sing the main melody, but then I'm always playing about in the actual recording session of, oh, this harmony would fit in there. I'll randomly do a harmony, it'll fit in, or like little chanting bits in the background. So I'm always like constantly messing around with ideas, because I've had it before where I've wrote a song and stuck with that and not changed it over time, then released it and I'm like, oh, I feel like I could have added a bit more in. So it's just like a constant changes happening all the time, you know, because like with this new song, I'll have released it and then I'll have another idea and I'm like, oh, damn it, but I'll usually just keep it in my head and save it for next time, because I'm always listening to different music all the time. Like one day I could be listening to AKB, and then the next day I'm listening to Necronome Idol, and then the next minute I'm listening to something a lot heavier like the Gazette, and I'm like, I want to do all these different genres of music, but I can't do them all. So it's kind of like a pick and mix of different inspirations.
Do you think maybe that you would write for other people? Because you say that like you get inspired by all these different genres, all these different art. Maybe writing that's not for you, maybe writing for another idol that does want to go down a certain genre route, I suppose. Is that something that you would maybe consider?
I've always been open to it. I've just never really opened myself up to be like, oh, I write my music. If you want a songwriting, here I am. Because I'm usually too busy with my own stuff to really do writing for other people. But I'm potentially writing a wrestling theme tune from one of my friends, because I've recently started wrestling training, which is a bit unexpected.
We were going to talk to you about that.
Yes,
we were going to talk to you about that.
Yeah. And one of my friends, he does like a cosplay gimmick as his character. He's known as the cosplay kid, and his like origin story for his character was he'd gone to a cosplay convention, got challenged by a wrestler, got his ass kicked, and now he's like, oh, I want to work towards this, I want to do this. And so he's like approached me and said, I've got this idea for a song that I want to do, but I'm not exactly sure of where to go. So he sent me lyrics that he's written, and I'm kind of in the process of making a melody for it and then seeing what sound he wants to go with it and stuff. So it's going to be a different experience.
I love this.
I'd like to write for the people, because I mean, I do like I like a lot of country music as well, and a lot of country artists I listen to, they all write their own songs, but their songs are like so like, what's the right word? Autobiographical.
Right, yeah.
And just how they sing it and tell the story. I really like that genre of music, and I'd really like to write for that kind of genre as well. I just don't know any country singers.
Have we got other country idols out there? Is there a country idol unit in Japan that we know of?
I mean,
come on, Kelly, you must know. If anyone's going to know, it's going to be you.
I mean, if you're thinking of country music in Japan, you're thinking more like folk song and everything. So I think if you want a real kind of country kind of group, I'd say like P-Berry, you know, Riho and Dawa were really kind of like more of that countryside. I mean, prefectural groups can probably be classed as country groups like Ringo Musume or Negiko, but they don't really. Do they really have country?
Do they have country? Let us know in the comments below. Are there any country bands that we country in the kind of? Are you talking about country music like they have in America? Like kind of like country bands like that. Let us know in the comments, guys. Are there any country idol units in Japan that we need to be listening to, let us know in the comments, okay?
That's it. Definitely check out Ringo Musume because they are good. They're really good. But no, it regarding that wrestling though, how is that going, Jenny?
Yeah,
It's good, but really, really tough.
So when you and Lady Beard gonna have a collab?
Oh, I'm just
Yes.
waiting for that phone call. I'm waiting for the phone
Oh,
call.
come on, Lady Beard, give her a call. Let's make this happen.
Yeah. No, but I started doing training at a company called NSAW, Non-Stop Action Wrestling. It's like they've been a company for about a year, but they're really getting the ball rolling on doing promotions and shows and stuff. There's like I'm the only girl at the moment,
Oh,
so I'm like,
oh goodness.
Can you tell
it's
us about
not
your character? Can you tell
my
us about your
character.
persona? Your persona.
I'm still in the development stages of that. I mean, I can't say too much because a lot of stuff they're planning for like future shows and stuff. But I definitely say I'm going to try and incorporate like my idol performance into it, so it's a lot more natural for me. You know, so there's a lot of potential for that. Probably like a PG version of Makiyito, maybe. Maybe I'd love to do that kind of being like I'm an idol, but I'm gonna like break the barriers and just kick everyone's butt. But
Yes,
I've
we
still
are.
got
We are looking forward to that.
but I've still got a bit of a way to go because there's a lot of technical stuff that I need to learn. You know, but I'm having a lot of fun with it and I'm learning a lot of new things. And plus, it's really, really helped with my fitness because the warm up before we even start the actual training is brutal, but in a good way. And there's also like a really good discipline within the training sessions as well. There's like no room for messing about. So
Yeah.
I've
Well,
been
the
using
safety
that.
aspect that must come into it must be,
Oh yeah,
it's all about being safe. But because you've been like a performer for the last 6-7 years, it's that must help with the performance aspect of being a wrestler, because wrestling is it's a performance, isn't it?
yeah,
It's a type of performance art with lots of throwing about and not slam dunking,
yeah.
that's basketball, isn't it? Yeah. I'm gonna slam dunk it. But yeah, so do you find that having performance skills from being an idol on stage helps with the performance aspect of doing wrestling?
Oh, definitely. I mean, in these training sessions, we're learning the basics, you know, how to lock up, how to jump between the ropes safely, etc. But a lot of the other stuff is how to actually entertain the crowd. Because you can know like every single move down to a T, but if you're not playing up a character, whether it's a face or a heel, the show's just going to be boring. So a lot of the stuff that we've worked on is like character development and playing both sides. So we've kind of got an experience of both. I recently did one where we had to like plan out a tag team match, and although it wasn't perfect, I really, really enjoyed just winding the crowd up to get them more pumped up, to hate the villain more, to kind of pump up the face character more. So it does help, and from performing on stage, it's not anything brand new or something that I've never done before. I'm still performing to a crowd, but it's more of a physical fighting thing more
Yeah.
than standing and singing.
Okay, so the question that we all want to know is who's your favorite wrestler?
Who's my favorite wrestler?
Who's your favorite
Oh,
wrestler?
bloody hell, there's so many.
I
Oh,
wasn't quite into wrestling. I kind of went through a phase when there was like one of those like sticker books where you had to collect the stickers with
yeah.
all the like when it was still WWF, and my favorite guy was Razor Ramon. I don't know if you remember him.
It rings a
Is
bell.
showing my age. I thought he was really cool because he had kind of long slick back hair, and he like
Yeah.
he had like a cocktail stick that he chewed, and I always thought he was quite cool. But yeah, Razor Ramon, I'm showing how old I am with that. Kelly, who's your favorite wrestler?
I don't know anything about wrestling whatsoever. Honestly,
My question is dying here, man.
the only time I cared a smidgen about wrestling was when I was first getting into Hokage Princess when they were debuting, and it's because the guy who created the Naoki was actually a originally he was a costume designer for wrestlers, but a fair few of their performances were done in the ring for like the halftime of the show. I don't know if it is halftime, but yeah, they basically perform and then take pictures with a wrestler who they were like kind of like pumping up. And then when Naoki left as manager for Hokage Princess, he went on with Ready to Kiss, and they did that instead. But that's as much as I knew about it.
Do you think that you'll like try to incorporate some of your idol stuff in your routine? Like, because obviously we had Deadlift Lolita a few years ago with Lady Beard and Psyche.
Would you like do your like whole wrestling thing and then come on and be just like, hi, I'm Jenny, I'm an idol, and just like
I kill her.
complete 180 in terms of how your character is, and just be like two totally.
I suppose it would depend if she's going to be a hero or an anti-hero.
True.
Because you've got the heroes and you've got the anti-heroes. So I suppose it would depend on which route you took, I suppose.
I mean, as I say, like it's not just me in the company, it's how I'd interact with the other wrestlers in the company as well, because there's a variety of different roles. There's one who's a cowboy, there's a heel unit called the Society who act as these like, they're all in black, they're like they fight dirty, and I always rip them a new arsehole at training, being like, you three, you're all talking, no action, and it's had really, really good banter. So I think I can picture myself entering the catwalk or whatever leading up to the ring, being like, hi, I'm an idol, and then as soon as the bell rings, it just drops.
Yeah.
And I become proper serious.
You're looking forward to that. Is there a debut date on the horizon for Jenny, Rock Idol of the UK, in the wrestling ring?
Not upcoming. Hopefully sometime this year, definitely. With how my training goes. But there will be an event coming up in March. Whether it's like a weekly or a monthly show, I'm not too sure yet. They've just started doing like the teasing of it. So if there's like any updates, if you follow me on my socials, they'll all be promoted on there. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Make sure that they're all linked in the
yes
pinned comment below. So what have you got coming up as Jenny, Rock Idol of the UK? We know that you've got a live event coming up in a couple of weeks, yeah? Can you tell us about that?
I'm performing at London Anime and Gaming Con. I'm just doing like a short show, like a half-an-hour show. I'm singing my new song, obviously. I'm singing my classic Kawaii Killer song. And then I'm also performing some alternative idol music, Passcode and Necronome Idol, as well as some of my favourite anime openings. A lot of people who follow me on Twitter keep asking me to sing Lisa songs, and I'm finally doing one. So that should keep them quiet for a bit. So I've been planning that and just having a lot of fun with it. And then I'm selling Checky for the first time finally, which I'm surprised I haven't done ages ago, because it's like the one thing that everyone loves collecting from idols. So I'm finally doing them exclusive for this show. But then afterwards there will be like stuff sold on my website and stuff, because I'm currently waiting on artwork for new merch coming up, so that'll be after London. But after that, I haven't even thought that far ahead yet, because I'm in like the final 2 weeks before the show, and I'm like,
well, we're really looking forward to hearing how that event goes, and you never know, you might see some of us there. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We've obviously got other events coming up this year. We've got some gigs that are hopefully going to go ahead, depending on pandemic, Rona, the COVID, how that all goes. But hopefully we'll all be seeing each other at this year's Hyper Japan Festival.
Yes.
And this will be your first time coming along to Hyper Japan. Are you looking forward to it?
I'm so excited. It's my first ever Hyper Japan. I've been wanting to go since 2010, but it's either I've had to work, or I haven't had the money, or Corona decided to come and visit. Yeah. So I'm very excited to finally have the time booked off to attend it. And then not just Hyper Japan, but I'm also going to Doki Doki Festival in Manchester in August.
Fab. Are you performing at that one, or are you just going?
I'm performing on the Sunday. I'm not exactly sure what the times and everything are yet, because I was meant to do it like before COVID, but because COVID kept delaying everything, the show was like, I'm really sorry, but we're having to cancel again. I was like, oh, please don't forget about me. But luckily, they've still got me on the event to perform. But I'm excited for it because it's a brand new event that I've never been to before. But it's a bit different because usually I perform at anime conventions, but this one is more of an actual Japanese cultural event. Fantastic venue. So I'm very excited to go.
Excellent. Oh, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it.
So, Jenny, let's just do a little random bonus round thing. What is your favourite food?
Mashed potato.
What the hell?
I know, I love it. I love it from Nando's. It's the best.
Nando's mashed potato.
If you could do an alter ego kind of idol persona outside of a kawaii killer who you are in the rock idol of the UK, what kind of like idol persona would you have?
Ooh, I'd love to do like a cyberpunk future tech, like dystopian kind of thing. I think that'd be quite cool.
Would you have wires
Sounds
and everything like coming out of your back?
Yeah, I'd have like the LEDs and everything.
But no, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
So we've just started the new year as well. Has there been any releases from Japan that you're really enjoying at the moment?
Oh, there's a Japanese rock group called Acme. If you've never heard of them before, they released a new song, which I literally just listened to this afternoon, and it's such a nice song. The music video is really, really cute as well, because they all wake up randomly in the middle of a park, and then like the members are finding each other, and then I think some of it was filmed. I believe it was in Hollywood, I think. And they find all these random bits of music equipment everywhere in Hollywood, and then they just randomly end up going to this empty garage and start rocking out, and it's quite an adorable video. So I'm definitely excited for that. My favourite idol, Takashi Ai, I think she's releasing a new album sometime this year. She's collaborating with Tanaka Reina and Natsuaki Miyabi, who was an ex-Berry's Kobo member. You know, I think they're releasing an album. I'm not sure if it's covers or original music, but I'm very excited to finally see what the release date is for that, because it's very like a jazzy swing kind of genre of music, which is really fun.
That sounds awesome. Definitely have to check that out. And is there any artist or group or idol unit that you'd like to see in the UK this year? Who are you hoping to see?
I really want to see Lisa. I mean, she'll probably never come to the UK because their show gets sold out quick. I'd love to see her perform. Another obvious favourite of mine would be Passcode. I'd love to see them live. Their shows are amazing. And who else? I'd love to see Manacle as well live. That'd be really, really fun to see them live because they're absolutely fantastic.
I think a lot of us will have Manacle over in the UK. I think that's definitely... Manacle is definitely a unit that people are buzzing about and are really wanting to have over here. I think they do well over here. I really do.
Yeah.
I think Manacle do well.
I would really like to see them perform at Hyper Japan. I'm not sure if they'd actually come this year because of... I think the restrictions are still really strict in Japan. But if they were able to come
they do well at
Hyper Japan, I'd be so happy.
It would be a good show for them to kind of showcase coming to the UK, but most people know who they are from the UK Japanese music scene because of the group that they were in before. So it's like we all kind of we know what they can bring. It'd be nice to see them there. Do you hope to maybe perform at Hyper Japan one year, maybe next year?
I'd love to perform at Hyper Japan, but the only I feel like I'm going to be criticising the event. They're an amazing event, but in terms of having overseas idols like myself, there's been experiences from performers that I know that haven't had the best treatment. They've kind of just been shoved into an area with just a banner, no music equipment catered to them. They've had to bring their own equipment and everything. And there's been, so there's been discussions with that. I did email them a couple of months ago just to double check, but there wasn't really anything definitive planned. So I think if I could perform at Hyper Japan, I'd love to, but I'd want to be treated the same as the Japanese performers coming over.
Yeah.
Because
even though that's fair.
because even though they are Japanese and they're actually physically in Japan, I'm still heavily influenced by their music scene. So I would kind of like to be treated the same, but obviously that's like a big discussion we could delve into.
Yeah,
we'd be here for another hour talking about that. So
to round up, Jenny, rock idol of the UK, when's your new single out?
It is out on the 12th of February.
And do we have a name for the single yet?
The Prayer.
As in,
Pray to see you live soon. That's what we pray for. We pray for Rona to
Yay.
go away
Yes.
the Corona, and we pray for more live gigs and your wrestling debut at some point this year.
Yes.
So everyone, we will put all of Jenny's links in the comments below, and we hope that you've really enjoyed this. Leave comments. Let us know what you think.
Yes.
What else do you want us to discuss? We might have another girls' night at some point.
Yes.
And you
you know what? We should talk about what idol means to us one day, like the definition of idol, because it's
that'd be
such
fun.
a broad definition.
Yeah,
at this
we'll have a
point.
big old idol waffle. That's what we need to do. We need to have a good old waffle about all sorts of stuff.
That's what it'll be called, idol waffle.
Let us, the senpai waffle. Let us know if this is the kind of content that you want, or tell us we're rubbish. Either way, leave a comment below. Okay.
No, thank you very much, Jenny. It's always wonderful to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. It's always fun talking with you guys. I have so much fun.
We'll see you later, guys. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Water of the Round Table. I mean,
no water of the round table.
I'm sorry, we scrapped
It
that.
feels odd hearing that.
I've got a cat attacking my feet at the moment as well, so I'm desperately trying not to swear at it.